Good evening, everybody. Just here to take few minutes of yours. It's a time for celebration. I'm sure many of you are aware about this fact today. What has happened? We all won. Yes, it's a collective victory which has been dedicated to each one of you all. Because this wouldn't have been possible without everybody of you all. So it's just a small thing. It has happened for the very first time in the history of Red Hat as well. That in the Red Hat Partner Conference, all the category have been awarded to Linux World Informatics Private Limited. And yes, me and Vimal Daga sir personally, wholeheartedly, we dedicate this award to you all because it wouldn't have been possible without your support, your love, your trust. So it's a time for us to celebrate back end everybody of you all. Okay, I think whenever we have a celebration or a festival, what do we do? Okay, what we do is we ask our parents to make something good for us, or at the same time we either have a chocolate and feel good about it. So please, it's a request to each one of you all, do celebrate today. And it is, let me show you a small glimpse about what is I wanted to share with you all, a small video. I'm sure many of you have already gone through the video, but would like to share this video definitely with you all.
Recognition awards. Although in the last few years there have been several awards, considering only a few modality was delivered during the digital transformation, we could arrive at a maximum of 2 categories for awards for CY20.
I hope
they
you all
are
able
open
to this,
enrollment
training,
top 3 numbers and highest revenue for the year 2020. A big round of applause.
Thank you so much for the confirmation, guys.
And I'm going to ask Vikram Motiani, Senior Director, GLS, Red Hat APAC. Vikram himself on screen, right? Remember, at the end of this award category, he is going to speak a little bit about the winners as well. The first place OE training in CY20. Holy moly, this is a big moment. The winner, the champion, the gold winner, all right? The one who is going to be declared as the champion, ladies and gentlemen, the first place in OE training in CY20 goes to, hold your breath, it goes to Linux World Informatics. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Linux World Informatics Private Limited, absolutely fantastic. Look at that, look at that. That's how it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Linux World Informatics Private Limited from the big city Jaipur turned out to be a game changer for the year CY20 by doing a record number of OE trainings. Mr. Vimal Daga, who is one of top certified persons in the world, himself delivers all the trainings. And his students regard him as a guru to support them in framing each one of their career. Wow, that's amazing. Mrs. Preeti Daga, who handles the complete operations, is totally involved in this year's highest number of OE training seats, and hence the best partner for the highest number of OE training seats for India. The award goes to, ladies and gentlemen, you sing the duo, put your hands together, Linux World Information. I'm sorry, Linux World Informatics, very well done. Absolutely well done. Proud of you, right? Congratulations. Such a proud moment, right, Vikram?
I feel great sharing these awards, and it's a proud moment. As we have said earlier, right, it's been a tough year, and in spite of globally and at an APAC level seeing some decline, we have seen India grow. And I would say that I want to congratulate all the partners for being able to create the shift and still grow the number of students and number of classes that we have delivered in India. So congratulations to everyone. And of course, special thanks to Vimal and Preeti. I've met you all, and it's great to know and see you all win. So congratulations and special thanks for everything that you are doing, not just for Red Hat, but also for the industry, because you are helping in the transformation. So you are creating a mob. Thank you and congratulations.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the second category, highest revenue in CY20. As we call out the names of the winners. To do the honors, ladies and gentlemen, I invite Marshall Korea. Thank you so much for joining us, Marshall. All right, so the first place, the highest revenue in CY20. The award, the number one place goes to Linux World Information Private Limited. Put your hands together. Very well done. People, can we see you out there on the screen? Women, once again. Woo! Last but not least, while the numbers are driven with record break OE training, they break all the numbers and drive the total revenue of billing to be the best among all partners across the board for Red Hat GLS India partner community. None other than Linux World Informatics Private Limited, the Vimal Daga and the PT Daga hit the best revenue partner for CY20. Kudos, cheers. We can't believe this. We want you to do more. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Linux World Informatics, absolutely well done. Woo-hoo. All right, Marsh, what a big moment this is. The duo have been sweeping the awards. Like they're sweeping it like it's the market. Right? What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, amazing. Really proud. And Vimal Daga and Preeti. And one thing I noticed is Vimal leads by example. I noticed that he has done the highest number of certification himself. So proud moment indeed. I keep hearing these names in our forecast call. Really want to thank you for what you have done for us, and wish you all the success for CY21. Thank you.
So, guys, another achievement with this is also that, fortunately, with all your blessings, your support, Linux World Informatics Private Limited has become one of the biggest and partner of Red Hat with IBM. Definitely now Red Hat has been acquired by IBM in India and Asia. This helps us in some or the other manner. Recently, I'm sure you all have heard about this, that there were some intern opportunities at Red Hat. And we were one amongst those partners, or we were the only partners who could give the maximum number of interns. So maximum number of interns got hired for Red Hat from Linux World. So this is another opportunity which we got. And sooner or the other, gradually we are trying to put up our steps. And with the help of your support, soon we'll be able to help each and every person who's in need of an internship or a placement through some other manner. Thank you so much, each one of you all. Over to Vimal Daga, sir, for continuing with our AWS session. Again, a time of celebration. I'm sure, pat your backs, everybody of you all. It was all because of your support. Thank you, each one of you all. Thank you.
So, guys, let's continue with the next part. So, today's guys class again is very much, I can say, advanced class, right? You can think also as a complex class, maybe, but I'll try my best to make this class as much as simple possible. But technically, what I'm planning to do. I'm going to set up the entire infrastructure, whatever high level we have learned in my last classes. So it will be again a quick class for revision of our older topic. But the intention over here is whatever we have discussed as a high level with the web UI, I am trying to automate everything with a code. Okay, so what I mean by this, in a minute you will understand what exactly I'm talking about. But yesterday, guys, we have already started one topic called cloud formation. What is cloud formation? I already explained to you and use cases of this particular topic. And finally, this actually is one service, and this service is work on a concept called infrastructure as code. Means if you want to manage or to launch or to provision your infrastructure, right? Here you can use and write a code, run the code, and with the code, the entire infrastructure to be created. Okay, and because we are creating this infrastructure with the help of code, so obviously it would be automated, and everything that is automated would be very much fast. There is less chance to have the error. Whenever we need, we can create the environment. The biggest thing is just think in this way: if you create the entire infrastructure on the AWS cloud in your account, okay, so if I quickly log into AWS account over here, and maybe guys from the initial classes, you have created a lot of services here, you configure here, maybe VPC, EBS, or maybe any other services. So if I ask you, so whatever setup you have done till date, if you can share this setup to me. Okay, so it's very hard, right? You can't share your setup or in the AWS cloud because the way you have configured that setup, right, and the AWS cloud, that would be very much manual. Maybe you guys might use web UI, this kind of page to click and launch the instances, or maybe you guys might use CLI, but both the way it is typically very much manual. Okay, so so whatever setup we have done here, if I want the entire setup to be provided to you, so you can also have the exactly same setup in your account, or maybe I am a different team in the company, or I want to provide the exactly same setup to my other team in my company, so they, whatever the environment they are working on, okay, what is the use case they are working on, so they will have the exact same copy of my environment. So if this is your use case, so if you do the things manual, it will be very harder, because these guys have to do the same thing manually, one by one, step by step, the way we have done in our account. Obviously, guys, it's the same thing they keep on doing from the scratch. So obviously, it takes a lot of time. Manual take much possibility have some kind of error or something they might miss. So it means so whatever environment we have created, and guys, understand one thing: creating the environment or doing the setup, it won't take like 1 day or 2 days. It's a game of long, it takes lots of days actually, because when I do something setup here right now is working, but based on my requirement, we keep on changing, we keep on enhancing, just we keep on adding new services here. Maybe I keep on changing your port numbers, my IP addresses. Okay, so as per requirement, I keep on enhancing my setup here. Okay, so it takes a lot of days and week and month to make this entire environment to be very much mature. Okay, and so same environment that it takes a week to be mature. So somebody asks to provide the same exact environment, we can't provide, right? Because everything we have done till date here is manual. Okay, but they also want to work in the same environment, because they also want to test your application or your environment. So the only way and the best way and possible way is to do everything from the code. So because code is something like a document, so everything you do, you keep on changing, enhancing, updating the document. And good thing about the document, guys, is whenever you update any document, they keep on you guys keep on creating the version. Okay, so initially we do something, then we add something, then we add something, or maybe there might be possibility something over here I might fail, but because we have older code or older document, we can very quickly roll back. Okay, so this is the great thing about the document. A document here, I mean to say code. So something failed, we can do a rollback. And the great thing, guys, over here is, because right now we are creating the document for the infrastructure, or the code for the infrastructure, using a service called CloudFormation. It is not CloudFront, it is a CloudFormation. Okay, so they have a capability, okay, to do the rollback. So they are very smart. They see what a change you have done. And guys, I told you yesterday, when you do something, you update, you run, and you guys know, when you write a code, this entire code is known as stack. So when you create a stack, so let's say this is stack number 1 or version 1. Okay, it is working great. Okay. But you think you have to add some more thing in your code or in the stack, you change, new version of the code or new code come up, and from version 1 to version 2 you change. This is called update. So doing the update, guys, in the cloud formation is very much simple. Then again, you change some more thing. You again change the document here. I mean to say code. Okay, again new version come up or new code come up, version 3, and you again update. Sometimes these guys are also known as rolling updates. So you keep on rolling the new updates of your code. Okay, and the good thing is this code is not your website or mobile app. This is a code who create the entire infrastructure. Okay, so if you talk about some year back or some decade back, we are in so much in the practice to configure the entire infrastructure manually. We manually install the Windows, we manually install the Linux, we manually go there, put the network, put the hardware. So it's a lot of manual thing we have. So same infrastructure or same copy of infrastructure we have to create somewhere else. Again, same manual effort and same much time we have to provide there. But now the the way of managing the infrastructure has been changed because of this code or because of this document, right? We can create this infrastructure, and because the infrastructure now can be built or created or provisioned with the help of code, so we can also versioning the infrastructure. And guys, it's a big thing. If you try to understand, it's not a small thing. Okay, here I'm not talking about versioning of the code, versioning of the document, versioning of your mobile app or the web app. Here I'm talking about versioning of your entire infrastructure. Right, you keep on enhancing version 1, version 2, version 3, and if you want to do rollback and say, no, whatever I had in version 2, that particular date and that particular time, whatever I have, the IP address, firewalls, VPN, storage, I just want to get it back. Okay, so we can very quickly, very one click, we can do our rollback very easily. Okay, so these are some benefit, guys. Most of the benefit, guys, I already explained you in my last class, means yesterday. Okay, so today what I'm going to do, okay, to show you this demo, what I'm talking about right now, and some more demo, I want to create some kind of real kind of infrastructure. Okay, that you guys know already how to create it manually, but same thing I'm going to create again, but today I'm going to create with the help of cloud formation. Okay, so it's a long topic. So lots of things I'm gonna revise today, but try to focus on the main part for today. That main part is we are going to set up everything, everything with the help of cloud formation. Okay, so what's my plan, right? Let me very quickly go to our exit plan. So our plan, guys, is something like this. If you guys remember, initially we have talked about in our networking class. Okay, so what we have talked about, if you want to create the entire office or virtual network, okay, in our AWS, we have a concept called VPC. So what is VPC? It is a virtual private cloud. Okay, and it is just equals to, I explained that time, it is equal to like your one office. And inside VPC, you guys know, if you have to create multiple labs, and here, guys, the labs is known as subnet. Let's say this is your subnet. Okay, this subnet. And subnet you can consider as equals to one of the lab area in your office. Okay, and why you want to put the subnet? Because it is compulsory if you want to launch any operating system, means instances. Obviously, guys, here you're going to use EC2. Okay, so if you want to launch any operating system, it is compulsory to put operating system in one of the lab. Okay, so let's say we go to EC2 and say, EC2, can you launch this OS? Now, in this OS, that will be your choice. You want to add some extra hard disk or not. But let's say you have some requirement, you want to keep some data permanent and persistent. So I go to one of my extra service called EBS, and I ask them, can you provide some extra hard disk to me so I can attach this hard disk to this OS? So whatever data this OS want to make it permanent, so they will do it. This is called persistent. This is called block storage. Okay, so if this OS goes down or terminated, my data, whatever I put in this hard disk, it will be permanent. So what is EBS? You guys know it is a block storage as service. We have already worked on it. Okay. Now it is your choice. If you want to launch this OS, that will be your choice. You want to launch this OS from some of the AMI that is already available, or you can create your own AMI. So, but you need AMI to launch this OS. Okay. So maybe guys, there might be AMI that you already created, and when you launch this AMI, you already you automatically configure with some web server. Okay, so you might have some AMI that you guys know how to create, but if you launch this, use this AMI, automatically your OS become the web server. Okay, but now your plan is why you want to configure this OS as a web server, because there might be possibility you have a client on the internet or the customer on the internet, and you want your customer can reach to you. And for this guys, from your customer, right, they should have an internet connection to your office. Okay, and in your office, in the outer premises, you have to a public premises, you have to put some router. You guys know it is called internet gateway. Okay, you have to put some internet gateway. Again, one more thing you have to do, because you guys know whenever you create a subnet, they also put one internal router that is not visible in your subnet in the lab. Okay, but while while creating the subnet, you have to be very sure that you want any OS in this subnet, right? It will have an outside world connectivity or not. So for this, you have to put this router and connect to this public internet or internet gateway. Okay. For this, what you have to do, for this, you have to create a routing table. Okay. And in routing table, you have to tell that anywhere I want to go means 0.0.0.0 means anywhere I would like to go. Okay. I will tell this thing to my internal router. Anywhere I want to go, okay, I have to use this system as my gateway. So you have to create a routing table, and you have to attach the routing table to this router, or maybe you can say you have to attach this routing table to your subnet. Okay, that's what you have to do. Okay, so guys, this is what exactly, and even though I can say in more advanced, we have set up this environment, in our AWS portal, but that was purely manual. Okay, purely manual. Okay, but what is my plan today? I will explain in a minute, but let me add one more thing here. Okay, but because your plan, guys, is to configure this OS as a web server, so your client will connect. So while launching this web server, I'll say I want this web server has a public IP. And you guys know whenever it has a public IP, it is a temporary, means after system shut down and start, IP might change. So I don't like this. I want my client will have my public IP. It will be always fixed. So I will attach some static public IP, and you guys know for this you can set up the EIP. So I ask the EIP, they give you a static public IP, and you can attach to your OS. Okay, this is one thing. And one more thing, obviously, guys, whenever you configure any EC2 instance, you want any traffic coming from outside world, they can come in. But because this is a web server, so I want any traffic just going in, they always go via my firewall. You guys know firewall is called security group. So I'll tell my security group, any traffic coming in from anywhere in the world, allow them to the port number 80, because 80 is the port number for TCP. That is where I'm running my web server. Okay, that's what you have to do. Okay, but if you think in the future that if you think this OS might need some extra maintenance, means as the admin of this OS in your company, you might have to log into this OS remotely via SSH, so that maybe if you want to change something in this OS, we can change it. So for this, you have to do extra thing here. You have to tell the security group also allow port number 22, or you also have to add your private key to the SSL. So that will be your choice, you want to do or not. But normally, if you create your own AMI, and normal AMI means everything is already configured. So as such, we don't require to log in to this OS for the management purpose. So, but it is your choice, you want to attach the private key or not. Because I told you, if you don't attach the private key while launching, okay, so there's no options to add in the future. The only way is to terminate the OS and to launch the new OS. Okay, so you have to properly plan initially that do you want to manage this OS after the launch via SSH, by remote login, right? And you don't want. Okay, so this thing. So guys, right now, whatever I created here as a diagram, you can think this is one of the infrastructure we have. And till date, guys, we launched this infrastructure with a manual way. Okay, almost like I show you how to launch this infrastructure with web UI, and some of the way I also show you how to launch with CLI. Okay, so today, guys, I'm going to do same thing again, nothing new, exactly same diagram that is visible over here. But today, I'm going to launch this infrastructure with a automated way, means with a code. That is called infrastructure as a code, or infrastructure as code. Okay, so that's what, guys, we are going to do. So let's start to implement. But understand one thing: if you want to do anything automate anywhere in the world, in the cloud, maybe in data center, maybe in the OS configuration, whatever and wherever you want to do any automation, guys, understand one thing: without knowing the concept, without knowing the path, without knowing the steps one by one, what to do first, what to do next. If I say, for example, okay, if you try to launch internet gateway without VPC, it won't allow, because when you launch the internet gateway, they say it is compulsory to tell me which VPC you want to use. And if you try to launch EC2 without any subnet, they say I don't allow you. Okay, you have to first launch subnet, then only EC2 can launch. Okay, so, and plus you should know the concept that EC2 don't launch without subnet. Subnet won't launch without VPC. Internet gateway won't launch without VPC. Okay, if you want to allow something, I need security group. So if you know the concept, if you know the steps, if you know the path, then only, right, you can launch, configure, or provisioning anything. Either you can use web UI or CLI or the code. So in any of the area, maybe or manual or automation, you should know the concept. Okay, the only difference would be here you have to do everything manually. Okay, here we can create a code. That's the great thing they have. So let me, guys, start the today's topic, and let's create the exactly same infrastructure in my account. Okay, so for this, I'm going to one of the management service. This is called Cloud Formation here. So I'm going to use this service to do the things. So for this, what I'm doing here, let me open my command prompt, and we have to write the code. I'll go to my workspace. Okay, and let me create a folder, a new folder. I'm creating that, no special reason for this, and the folder name is let's say all. Okay, and here I'm going to create one new file. Okay, let's say this file is aws.yml. Okay, you can give any file name, but you have to decide you want to write a code in JSON or YAML, because they support both. Recommend would be, and the best way would be to use YAML. Okay, so let's start from here. Okay, so guys, I highly recommend, right, whenever you want to go for automation, I highly recommend, please create this kind of diagram. Okay, and then create a plan. Okay, and the plan is very but obvious. Plan means step by steps plan. Create this. Okay, and it is very obvious by looking at this diagram. It look like first we have to create a VPC. Okay, this is the first thing we have to do. Okay, so we have to first create a VPC. Okay, and because our plan is to all of a computer inside the subnet, they can go out, and you guys know this, by chance this kind of subnet is called public subnet. So for this we require internet gateway. So next plan is we have to create internet gateway. So this is what we have to do. Okay, and then obviously, guys, internet gateway is different thing, VPC is different thing. So next plan is we have to attach internet gateway to VPC. Okay, so likewise, step by step, the way you do manually, same thing, you just create a plan sheet here, step by step sheet over here, and then start writing the code. Something like this. But let me start from here. I told you guys yesterday, But right now, we're going to create everything from the cloud formation, and the cloud formation is everything is a resources. So VPC is also resources, internet gateway is also resources, and even though if you want to attach the internet gateway to VPC, they are also known as resources. So I can say what is resource? Resource is one kind of program, or maybe you can say resource is one kind of API. And every program, every resource, every API is doing something for you. Okay, either they create the VPC, either they create the internet gateway, either they either they guys can hold for a second, please. Or either they they create either they help you to attach internet gateway to VPC, or maybe they help you attach EBS to EC2, or maybe they have to help you attach security group to EC2. So what are the case would be means every step is like a one resource or one program or one API. So whatever you say, it is the same thing. Okay, so this is one thing. So it means if I know the step that I want to create VPC, so I can very quickly go to Google and say, hey, I want to know in AWS, do you have any resource, right, for VPC or VPC creation? Something like this we can search. And mostly guys, they give you a unique link for that resource, or they give you a unique link for that a program or that API. But in the cloud formation, it is known as resource, or technically known as technically known as cloud formation resource. And if you see guys here, I directly landed to this particular resource name. Okay, but if you want to see the complete list of all the program API or the resource available for everything, for every step, so this is the link you can search. So if you search for AWS resource type reference, so if you search, so they give you one link, and in this link, guys, they give you the entire list of all the resources available. This is called resource type. Okay, so we have a resource for everything. So example, if you yesterday, I take the example of EC2. So this is the EC2 resource. But in the EC2, guys, we can do lots of things. So if you click on the EC2, so what you want to do in the EC2. For example, yesterday I used this resource type instance. If you click here they give you the complete name of this resource or this program or API, by chance known as resource type. Okay, this type, and plus all the property support in this type. So if you guys remember, okay, yesterday I used image ID as a resource type. Or maybe key name you can use, or maybe availability zone you can use. So these are the guys, the entire list they give you. The good thing is they give you output, example in YAML and JSON format both. But if you go down, they give you entire detail of everything. So they talk about, they have properties, and for example, one of the properties they have is availability zone. Okay, what is this one? What they're doing? They give you entire list. How to give the value average zone? You have to give the value in string format, and they tell you require no. It means sorry. It means if you don't want to use this property, it is not compulsory. So if you want to be you want to be very much specify that I want my OS always launch in 1A center, you can tell. Otherwise, if you don't tell, they will use whatever the default setting they have. So you can see, guys, almost all the properties is not compulsory or is not required, but there might be some property that might be required. For example, if you see here, you will find some property. Okay, we call image ID. And here they're talking about the conditional. Okay, conditional here right now for a minute, you think it is a compulsory property. So obviously, guys, if you don't give the AMI ID, how they launch the OS. So without the AMI ID, they won't able to launch the OS. But why they say it is not required? Yes, because there's some more way to launch the OS in the AWS called templates. So there's a different point, but But I think by this document, it is very clear that if you want to launch something, okay, what do you want? So this document is a great document. From here you can just go and check what are the support, which property they have, what this property do, it is compulsory or it is not compulsory, and if it's compulsory or don't compulsory, what value they support. Okay, stop, terminate, or maybe in the instance type. Okay, what default value they already have. So if you don't specify instance type, so they auto pick M1 is small. But if you want to change, you have to give the string, and this is the allowed values they have. So only these value you can provide, other value they don't support. So it's a great document, a very updated document. Almost they keep on updating. So it show you everything whatever they have. So guys, let me start from here. I'm going to use this document a lot for creating every resource. So what's our plan? Our plan is to create this infrastructure over here. Okay, so let me do one by one. Okay, and what I'm also doing here also in parallel to show you that everything is working properly or not. So I'll open my VPC dashboard. Sorry, to show you everything is working properly or not. So in my case, okay, in my dashboard in the Mumbai region, I have only 4 VPC. Okay, and what my plan is, I'm going to launch one more VPC. You guys know you can launch the VPC from here. Okay, you can create a new VPC. And understand one thing, this is the manual method again, but understand one thing, if you want to create the VPC, you have to give right, one thing is called name. Second thing, you have to give your network address. This is called CIDR. 2 things, guys, you have to always give while launching the VPC. And some other things you also have that is again not so much compulsory. So logically, I know 2 things we have to always give. If you don't give these 2 things and try to create the VPC, for example, if I try to create a VPC, it fail, and they say these 2 things is required. Okay, VPC name they will auto pick by default, but this thing is also required. Okay, so I know logically if I want to create a VPC, there's 2 things required. Now what I'll do, I'll go to my my document. Let me see this older document. Okay, I'll go in this document and search in my AWS resource tab reference. Do you have any resource for VPC? Okay, so guys, here they listed all the resource type. Means all the service resource type. Service means VPC is one of the service. So if you go to V, so you will find a VPC, or maybe they haven't properly write in the order. But if you go to VPC, Control F, VPC, so they don't have a VPC name here. Okay, why? Understand one thing, guys. It's a very basic concept, right? VPC is actually normally used by by your EC2 instances. So normally we always and they always normally manage, especially VPC under the EC2. Okay, so if you go to EC2, and these are the resource type of your EC2 service. And if you now here you try to find, do you have any resource or an API or a function, right, for VPC? Yes, they have. Either search in this way, or maybe you can search directly in the Google, and they will take you directly to this particular page. Okay, they take you here. Okay, and now what my plan is to create a VPC with YAML. So I think this is the great example. I can directly copy from here, and I have my own doc. And guys, yesterday I told you, everything you do is a resource. Every resource has a name. Okay, this is the name they have. Okay, and and according to the plan we have see here, the actual thing that we always require is the CIDR. Without CIDR, your VPC never launch. So that's what guys they're asking here. Which CIDR you have to put. And here they are very clear. Whatever the value you give, it should be string. Means you have to put in single quote or in the double quote. Okay. So let's say our plan is I want to launch my VPC for the network called 10.0.0.0/16. That's my plan. Okay, so let me put my plan here, 10.0.0.0/16. Okay, so my sorry, my VPC I'm gonna launch for this particular CIDR. Okay, this is one thing. One more thing, guys, you try to understand. Yesterday, I told you this is the one resource we are going to add. But after this, I'm going to add my interrogate EC2, lots of things we are going to do. So everything, guys, it should be part of resource keyword, resources keyword. Okay, and every resources you have to give a unique name. Let's say this guy, I'm going to give a name called VPC. You can give any name. Okay, but this name is very important. Today you come to know what is the use of this name, but you can give any name, my VPC. So every resource you have to give a name, but this name should be unique name. So maybe you want to create one more VPC, you can give hello VPC, VPC1, VPC2, something like this. Okay, so this is a unique VPC resource name you have to go, right? Why? We will see today. And this name has this particular block of code. You have to properly indent because this is a YAML. So in the YAML, you have to properly indent these guys. Okay, so that's what. So one resource we are going to create, name would be anything, but the type is this one. Okay, so again, if you see the document of VPC here, okay, they say here this block is compulsory. If you don't type this property and try to run this code, it will fail. So this keyword, this property or this attribute is very much compulsory. Okay, but they say this property is not compulsory. So if you want to put, don't want to put, that will be your choice. But what this property do, they will properly explain you here what this property do. Even though guys, I already explained you, if you go to VPC page, so whenever guys you create a VPC, and after you create a VPC, okay, and if you want to enable in the future your DNS host name and DNS resolution, you can update from here. Okay, so after create VPC, you always go and edit and enable this guy. So what this will do for you, I already explained you, whenever any EC2 launch in this VPC, EC2 will automatically has one DNS host name. And that DNS will be the AWS internal DNS. So if you want to enable this property, your choice. So what I'm doing here, I also want to enable this property. And they say the value would be in Boolean format, means you have to say yes or no. Or I can, Boolean normally is true or false. So I have to say true. I want to enable the host name. Same thing, I want to enable the DNS support also here. It will be your choice. Okay, what is instance tenancy? So again, according to this document, they say there's something kind of tenancy concept in the VPC. So do you want to allow yes or no? It is not required. You want to allow, you don't allow, that would be your choice. Like even though if you see in the while launching the VPC also, that time also guys, they use a default value. So what tenancy is doing, it is not important right now, but it is like a dedicated hardware they give you for launching the OS, something like this. Okay, so let's say you want to remove this, your choice. And but if you want to go for the same default value, so I can see here the key value, the support is only 3. So let me go for default. Okay, so default. Okay, and now one more thing, tags they have. You guys know whenever you launch anything in the AWS, we always give a tag. Now it is your choice what tag you want to give here. And guys, in the tag you always give variable name and the value. It's called key and value. Same thing you can do here. So here you can give a key. Let's say my key is name, means my variable name is name, and the value. Okay, let's say this is my Linux, or let's say this is Linux World VPC, right, from CloudFront. So this value I have created. And how I know the syntax? If you go in the tag, right here, they tell you it is not required if you want to give or not. And if you click here, they will give you further further examples of this. So technically, that's all our VPC created. If you guys try to understand here, because I know VPC console, I know this page. I'll open this page from web UI and I look here, whatever they have. And same thing, I keep on searching in the document and I keep on picking the information from here and my code has been created. And we don't have to worry about the syntax and the keyword name. They have the document, they have some examples over here. I can copy paste and do the things. Okay. And even though if you see here, they give you some examples also. So these kind of examples they have. Something like this I have created here. So you can also pick this example and the change the way you want it to change. Okay. So it is created. Let's go and launch this. And so how to launch? So for this, I'll go to my cloud formation. Let me create a new code. Let's call it stack. Even though if you start from here, create a stack. My template, my code is ready. Okay. Template is ready. I want to upload from my computer. So in my desktop over here, in all, this is the template I have. Okay, and technically, because this is the first time you are uploading, so CloudFormation guys automatically give you this code of version 1. So they internally guys manage the versions for you. So they automatically maintain that this is the version 1 copy of this code. Why they maintain version? Because you can do very easily roll back whenever you want. Okay, and one more guys, beautiful thing, the CloudFormation has, they have one designer view. So if you click here, what a code they write, they give you very beautiful web UI where they design what exactly you're doing. So they create this design for you. Okay. Even the guys here also, they give you all the resource name. You can drag and drop and create your own design. And the good thing is when you create design, automatically code created. You don't have to create your own code. Okay, so we just pick here some spaces, some things here, and guys said as I pick, automatically your code created here. So you don't have to worry about creating the code. Then we have some way to connect these guys, the way I want to do. So very beautiful portal they have. You can design the entire infrastructure. So if you don't know anything much about the code, okay, so anyone who know this this page, they can design their own infrastructure, and after design the code created, and they click launch and they will launch for you. Okay, that's also one beautiful thing they have. Okay, so let me again launch very new one. So this one. Okay, and click next. Let's give you a stack name. Let's say this is a AWS training all some kind of this stack name I'm giving here. Okay, I'm going to give you like, for example, AWS all. This is my stack name. Parameter, what is parameter? You guys know already, we discussed. Well, today we're going to add lots of parameter. Next. Okay, this is not important. Rollback. So they maintain this rollbacks for you behind the scene. Okay. Now this final thing come up, and guys, as soon as I click on create, what you will see without coming to VPC portal, again, you see guys only have 4 VPC I have, but without coming to VPC portal, okay, VPC portal, my VPC automatically created the way I want. Okay, so if you see guys, this guy AWS all stack name is in process, and if you refresh, okay, it look like it is creating in progress. Okay, and what they're creating a resource. Okay, the resource name is VPC, and if you see this particular resource is in progress. Okay, this is the resource we are looking for. It's in progress. Okay, and now everything is green. Everything is green here. So it is but obvious this resource has been created. Okay, and if you want to confirm this, just go here. Last time we have four VPC. Now if you run, you will have one more VPC come up. This is the name we had given. And if you see guys, this is exactly same network address we had given is come up. And if you click here, if you go to any of the action guys, this is the what we have enabled. So this is enabled for us. Okay. So finally VPC has been created. Okay. So this is the first step. It's been done. Now next step is okay, according to my diagram, my plan, we have to create a internet gateway. So how to do? Again, everything we have a resource available. So I go to my document, search in the Google, or maybe let me go here and normally guys, again, it is under the part of EC2 only. If you search here, do you have internet gateway? Okay, yes, they have. So this is resource name, the YAML code. Let me copy from here this code. Okay, and post over here. So one more resource I want to add. And that's one thing, this is a resource, right? So every resource we have to give some unique name. So whatever name you want to give, that will be your choice. So let me give the name called, let's say, internet gateway. Okay, so always try to give a better name so we can future you can refer, or maybe you can say this is internet gateway for my team 1, internet gateway for team 2, something kind of name we can give. But this resource, it should be under the same intent. 2 space you give here, so then 2 space you 2 space you give here. This will be under this indent, this indent, and something like that. And you want to give some tag, you can give the tag. Okay, and if you just want to quickly check how you normally create manually, so normally guys we go here. Okay, I already had 3 internet gateway, but my plan is to create one more. So either you create from here, but understand one thing guys, when you create internet gateway, always you give 2 things, your name and tag. And that's exactly we are doing here. I'm going to give the name. Okay, so by default they give this name normally, and tag. So tag. And again, if you go to the document also, you can see tag is again not required, and you will see some examples also. So this is the exact example you can pick also. So let me take the example from here and give the tag. So here, let's say again, I want to give this guy as a name, and the value for this is, let's say this is my internet gateway, something like this. So you can give some okay for CloudFormers. Okay, or let me give Linux Word Internet Gateway. If there's a tag, it's just the name, right? So I changed something in my document again. This is my document. This is my code. This is my manifest file, playbook, whatever you want to use the word here, you can use. But yeah, this is my code. Okay, but this code, guys, is under the planning of this infrastructure. And in this infrastructure, this part has been already launched. Now my plan is to launch second one. Okay, so and because I want plan to launch second one, it's a second step, second code you written. So obviously there's no meaning to create one more new stack. Okay, new stack in the CloudFormers. So we already had the step that has created our VPC. So I'm going the same stack, and this time, guys, what we are doing, we are updating things. So we are saying we already have your old template, old code. I want to update. Means I'm going for version number 2. Okay, and this version 2 are going to add some more new resource under you. Okay, and again, if you click on view and design, you will see one more resource they show you over here. So you have VPC, we have internet gateway, and both the things they are showing you here. If you want to see this look. Okay, and but yeah, if you click next, what happened? Internet gateway properties value is null. Oh, sorry guys, no, it's right. Obviously guys, the property tag is the property, right? So we have to properly indent. Right? So it would be under the property. Okay. Let me again attach this file. They reload the new file again because they upload the file in S3. So if you change anything right now here, you have to again reload the file. Now it's good. Next, nothing special here. But guys, in the last page, you will see they say because this was already there and now you're going to add something or modify something. Okay, this is called change, or this is called change set. So here guys, they update you what change set you have. And they're very clear here. You're going to add new thing, not modify new thing. And what interrogate? And here the replacement is nothing. It means this replacement means that they're talking about you are going to add a new thing. It won't replace any of your older resources. So all of your older resources will be intact. They won't change. Okay, because this is an independent component we have here. So if I click here, so guys, I told you last time I had only one internet gateway, but if you see guys, very quickly they are launching one more internet gateway for you. And if you go to CloudStack also, okay, if we refresh here, now this part is in progress. And if again refresh, you will see it's in progress. And if you see in the resources, now we have two resources in ours. We have VPC and we have one internet gateway. Two resources we have from this step. So it's completed. I go to my this page also. You can see this internet gateway with this name has been attached. So it has been connected. Now, what normally you do after this is that we always guys connect internet gateway with VPC. But it's not connected. You can see it's detached. Otherwise, you can see this internet gateway is connected to VPC. So it is not yet connected. So how to connect? Again, you search in the document. Do you have any resource for VPC gateway connectivity, something like this? So again, search in the Google or go to this document and say, do you have any VPC related thing with gateway or gateway related thing with VPC? Just go and check, and maybe in the VPC gateway attachment. So they also try to guys give the name very clear. So by looking at the name, we come to know what they are doing. So you can see here, they are the one who will connect both the guys. Again, I'll go and take the example over here or take the example from here. Okay, so I want to attach this one. So this is my plan to do the VPC attachment. Okay, or so internet VPC gateway attachment is our plan. Yeah, so let me pick this one. Okay, so so let me copy this, update my code. So my plan is to do attachment. You can give any name, I told you. Okay, but the important thing is your type. So there's a type we are going to use. Okay, so you can give anything, but let me give the name here. For example, very clear name here. The name would be VPC. I would like to attach my gateway, and that's for attachment I would like to do. This is just a name, guys. I told you. You just give any name. So I'm giving VPC gateway attachment and name. This name part is very important. Somewhere I'll explain you what the use of this name. Okay, this is the thing. There's a thing. There's a VPC, and there's a proper to it. Okay. Now the important part, guys, from here it should start here. Whenever you want to attach any gateway, let me try to first show you manually. So this is a gateway. Okay. Normally, what you do, you just click on the action, and the option to attach the VPC. It means I want to put my internet gateway in this VPC of Office, for example. Okay, so if you click on attachment, guys, what they ask you which VPC you want to attach. And when you click here they always attach you with the ID of the VPC. Okay, so when you attach any gateway, you'd always give the VPC ID. Okay, so according to standard 2, if you want to attach, you have to provide the VPC ID over here. Okay, so it means that's what guys they are asking here. can you provide me the VPC ID? Okay. And by chance, I know the VPC ID. So what I'll do, I go to VPC and I know because my VPC ID of this one is this one, I'll copy this ID. I'll copy the ID and paste here. Okay. But if you do so, okay, if you do so, what I'm doing right now, it means you are doing hard coding. Means right now, if I run this code, right, just forget till this part, just try to focus till here. So if I run this code right now, because my VPC already created, okay, the name of the VPC we give, ID to the VPC is provided by AWS guys. Because this VPC already created, the ID is always the fix. Okay, so if some of my other resource want to use VPC ID, I can give that ID, copy paste from portal, and I can provide here. But if you want to share this document or this code to other team member, that's what our plan is. Okay, if they create the VPC, the ID will be obviously very different. And when they go and when this code run, because the ID will be different, so obviously this code will fail because they are not matching this ID, because this is my ID in my account. Or maybe in my case, if I again remove this code, because guys, the good thing about Stack is if I remove the stock, the entire infrastructure deleted. You don't have to manually delete everything. Okay, so again, if you run this code again, next time my VPC create, and next time ID will be different. So again, this code will fail. So technically, giving some ID here static by copy pasting like this, it make our code hard coded. But what I want my code to be dynamic. Means, okay, I know this gateway attachment need VPC ID. Okay, and in the graphical, how we select, right? We always manually go to to internal gateway. This is the manual way we do. We go here, we select here, we attach here, we select the ID, and then we attach. This is the way we do in the graphical. But this is a manual thing, right? I want this thing to be automated. Okay, so guys, here the use of reference keyword come in play. Okay, so let me remove this line. I don't want to attach my ID because it might change in the future. Okay, so what I'm telling my VPC ID, I know you need some value. Okay, but for this value, I'm giving you a reference. Okay, here by chance reference is one kind of function. Okay, so I'm giving you a reference of my VPC. And what is this VPC? It is just a variable name. It is something like this, the way I explained you yesterday. Variable here, the variable name is VPC. Go and check in the top, and guys, if you try and see in the top, you will see somewhere we have one variable, and this variable is this one. And guys, that's what I'm talking about, guys. Every resource you give, you always give a resource a name, and this name is work like a variable. Okay, so what we are asking here, we have one variable name here or resource name here. I'm giving the reference of this guy, I mean this one. Okay, and just go and check. You are the one who launched this. So in this VPC resource name, just go and pick their ID. Means this is a VPC we have. Sorry, this is a VPC we have. Okay, so go to the VPC. Okay, they have the name, they have the state, they have the IP, CIDR, multiple things they have, but what we are interested on, just retrieve their ID. Okay, so this reference means go to VPC resource and this resource only retrieve their ID. Why only ID? Because it is written it is written in the AWS document. So if you again go to VPC document, this VPC document. Okay, in this VPC document, they say they have lots of properties, Okay, but if anybody give a reference to you, you will provide me your ID. And that's called a return value. So if you guys see here in the right side, return value, if we click here, okay, so they're talking about a reference function. And when anybody use reference function on you, you always provide the VPC ID. But if you want to use any other attribute, then we have a get ATR function. So reference These are the functions we are going to use, some functions today. Okay, so if you want to use retrieve any other attribute, maybe the CIDR of this VPC or state of this VPC, so we have a get attr function, get att function, get attribute. But if you only interested to retrieve the ID of the VPC, that's what we are interested on. The reference is a function you can use. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. So my attachment say I need VPC ID. Okay, so I'll tell I can get it for you. Where from I get, I'll go to my VPC variable or VPC resource name, because I'm using reference function, is a function kind of function actually. And this resource function, so reference function take me to the VPC resource. We ask whenever you launch, that time we have given you ID, just give me this ID, I can put here, put here, so these guys can use. Okay, so guys, that's the use of reference function. But understand one more thing, guys. If you want to attach your VPC, so enter gateway to VPC, you have to give two things. Okay, because I can create hundreds of VPC, I can create 100 of inter gateway. So which VPC you want to attach with which gateway, or which gateway you want to attach VPC? Okay, so that's what, guys, they are asking also. Give me VPC ID also, and give me internet gateway ID also. Okay, so how to get internet gateway ID? Either I can go to manually. This is my internet gateway. I can copy the ID here, copy and paste, and provide. Again, this is hard coded. Next time if I launch, it might change. Obviously, it will change, right? So again, what I do, I am asking here that this internet gateway we already launched, and this is the variable or reference name we had given. Same reference name I'm giving here to you. Okay, so just go there and retrieve this. Okay, so go there and retrieve this. So technically, so go to this reference. This is a variable name or resource name, same thing. And what are the ID you provided at time? Go and retrieve and provide over here. Okay, this is a way we give. Okay, this reference variable is exactly the same way whatever we have done yesterday. So you can write in this way also. It is also support. So you can write in one single line also. If you write in one single line, then you have to use this symbol without any column. This is also one more syntax you can use. You know, guys, remember yesterday we have done the same thing here. We have put the X variable here, and in the top somewhere we create a parameter X. Okay, but here parameter is VPC, and this VPC parameter already created for us because it is exactly the name of our resource. And this also we can write in this way also. So this both the syntax they support. Both the syntax they have support, right? So whatever syntax you want to follow would be your choice. Okay, so finally, this code is a little bit dynamic. If I give the same code to you, there will be no conflict. Exactly same code work in your account also, because I haven't fixed my VPC or internet gateway. They will dynamic find my internet gateway and VPC IDs and again technically associate. Okay, so right now it is not associated. You can see it is detached. But if I run my stack again, so let me again update, right, with the new code. Okay, and guys, if I again show you the designer view of this, you might see some difference here. So if you see here, where they are. I don't know. Yeah, here it is. Guys, here automatically this is some difference here. Automatically these guys are connected, right? So this part is automatically done. Now I can see VPC is now automatically connected to the internet gateway. From here also, guys, we have to connect these guys, right, as a designer view, but I'm doing everything from the code. Okay, so that's what you can see here. Click and nothing here. Next. And now you can see here one more time that giving you change set preview. And here nothing new, nothing modify. and we are going to add something. And there will be no old resources going to change and replace and modify. Okay, and we are going to add a new resource here, and let me update. Okay, and when you update, what do you see in your actual portal? Last time it was detached, and now if you refresh, you can see it has been attached. Okay, so technically this part is been done. My VPC created, my internet gateway created, and it has been attached. Now next what? So according to our plan, okay, the fourth step is, okay, normally we want to create a lab or subnet. So there's our plan. Or every subnet you give a name or and some more things. Okay, so technically, guys, if you want to create a subnet, understand one thing: we always tell our subnet which availability zone you have to launch, which VPC you are the part of. Okay, and we always give which CRDR range or IP block you have to work on. Okay, so these are three things, guys, we always give to a subnet, even though you want to see very quickly from the graphical. Whenever you create a subnet, you always give a VPC name, let's say this VPC. You always give the subnet a name. You always give your availability zone, and you always give your block, which block of CIDR you work on. Or maybe you want optional, you can give the tag. Okay, so this what, guys, these information from our knowledge we have collected. Okay, we have collected. Okay, same thing, I again go to my document and see does document is providing this information or not. So I go to my document or Google and search, do you have anything for subnet? Again, they are everything, these are the part of actually EC2. So maybe in subnet, I think this might be here. And if you see this example, there are syntax and this one. Let me go to example directly and let me copy paste this example in the YAML format. Copy and paste here. But now that you now understand the value of this name. This name is a kind of variable name, and one resource, if they want to map to other resource or give a reference to the resource, this name has a very important value. So give the proper name here, or maybe you want to create multiple labs, subnet 1, subnet 2. So whatever lab name you want to give, you can give it. Let's say, for example, let's say this subnet A. So any name you want to give, but it will be unique. Okay, so here the type is subnet. Okay, now guys, here what information we have collected. I want to give my VPC name. Again, same thing, guys. What VPC I want to attach? This VPC. But here we need to give VPC ID, but we don't know. I don't want to make it hard coded. So again, we can take the example of a reference. So again, I can give the reference here, same way. Okay, and my name of my VPC here is VPC, this one. Same way. So whatever name you have given here, you can pass over here. CIDR block is, so my plan is for this lab, I want to give a network a range of 10.0. Let's say 1.0/24. So this is my plan. This small network I want to give from here. Okay, so this one we already discussed, guys, the small one. So let me use this one. So this is the CIDR block I want to give. Okay, next is the availability zone. Right now, you can check one more quickly. Does availability zone property is compulsory? Is not. So if you don't give, the automatic pick one of the availability zone from your region. Okay, but CIDR block is compulsory. That's what we give. But if you want to give availability zone, you can give it. So you can type here, for example, I would like to launch everything in Mumbai, and Mumbai name of region is AP South 1, and let's say I want to pick in 1. So this is one of my availability zone in in Mumbai I can do. Okay, so this is the one approach you can do. Okay, one more interesting approach, right? Very interesting approach that you can use here. You can use here. By chance, I know the name of the availability zone in my current region. There might be possibility the name of availability zone might change. Obviously, it won't change, but there might be possibility. Okay. Or they might possibility, okay, right now, again, this is one kind of hard-coded thing. If I launch this template in Mumbai, it will work. If you also launch this template in Mumbai, it will work. Okay, but if somebody get this template and want to launch this template in North Virginia, so this data center is not available in the Virginia. They have their own US East South one something they have. Okay. So what I want this part also to be dynamic. Okay. So what I want technically, okay, I want this data center name will automatically correct it. Okay. So for this guys, we have one function available. Okay, that will give you all the data center or AG name available in that particular region. Okay, and name of the function is get AG's name. So this is one of the function available in CloudFormation. Okay, and this function guys has a capability to provide all the everybody name available in your respective region. For example, if you run this template in Mumbai, if there are all the three names they give you. And because this is a function, normally we write the function in this. One more format we have, guys, we can write the function in this way also, both the syntax support. Actually, this is the right way to write. So technically in the reference, I can also write a function like this. So this is actually the way we normally type the function name. Then this is very clear that this is my function reference. This is a function get AZs. Okay, but normally it's a little bit bigger, a lot of colons here. So as a shorthand, actually, we normally use this simple a lot. Okay. So it will give you all the every zone name. So if you again quickly see CloudFormation, okay, get AZ's function, you can see this is one of the function name. Okay, and this function is internally provided by AWS guys. So this function is called intrinsic functions. These functions are known as. Again, what they provide you, they give you list of all Agent 4 region where you run it in the alphabetic order. Okay, but obviously one thing guys, if you want to create a subnet, you have to give only one name. Okay, either 1A, 1B, 1C, one name. But here they give you all the list. Okay, so for this, what can we do? Okay, so if you provide guys a list, for example, list would be something like this. So let's say you guys know Python. So this is a Python, and I have the AG's list. Let's say A data center, B data center, C, some kind of this list behind this in the provide you. But let's say I want to launch my something in first data center, means this one. So what to do, guys? This is a list. We can put 0, and what we're doing, we are telling at 0 index, go and select the value. Okay, so guys, for this we have a function available here also for this one. So if you want to select something from the list, okay, so we have a function called select function. So maybe somewhere here they might give you some examples. They might give you yeah, here this example. So select is one of the function, right? We have. So what can we do? We can tell here, I want to use the select function. Okay, and syntax select function is something like this. Okay, go to this one and get the first item. So this is one of the syntax. Otherwise, this is also one of the syntax you can use. So what output this guy give me? Okay, give me. We will pick the first item. Okay, so that's what, or maybe you can use in this way. So they give me list. What kind of list? This kind of list. And from this, I want to select first one. Now, guys, this again template is very much dynamic. So now it is your choice. You want to launch this template in Mumbai or US Virginia region, right? Dynamically, they will find their every zone and launch for you. Otherwise, if you don't feel, just remove it. But most of the guys is sometimes very much required to select ourselves. But guys, before I go ahead, I just want to tell you one more thing. Right now, almost everybody is doing AWS CSA training under me, or maybe AWS developer training under me. This level of detail we don't have in our program. So if you go to AWS professional level training of DevOps, okay, and this is complete cloud formation, guys, come over here in this DevOps program. Okay, and even though maybe some of the concepts might not be also there available in this kind of DevOps program also, but even though I'm I'm taking all those concepts, implementing all this thing, automate, right? So technically, intention, guys, here is not to complete the course of CSA and the developer, right? My intention is to train you guys in almost all the possible way. How much time I can provide you, and you can also provide to me. So as much as we can do, that's what we are doing. Again, because you guys have to be very much purely trained for the real world to solve any kind of use cases. Again, here I'm giving the approach, right? The same approach you can use to automate some other kind of services also. But this is again one of the biggest service, if you know. So setting up the other services might not be big deal. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. And now in the subnet, you can set some examples if they have, and we can use some keys and values. So let's say key again would be name and value would be, let's say, my subnet lab 1, okay, something like this. I'm putting here. Okay, so this would be enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to launch this subnet. Okay, otherwise they have some more property you can add, but this might be enough for us. So I'll again go to my cloud formation, but if you see here, I don't have the subnet that I want to create here. But if I go to my this template also, again I just go and update, replace this one, upload, same file. Okay, I definitely always like designer preview here, and they show me the preview. Now you can see, guys, it's the same kind of diagram we created. Under the VPC, we are going to create one subnet. So they're very much clear diagram they have, and this VPC is very connected to internet gateway. So they're showing me the complete flow, what exactly we are doing. Next and next, and now in the last, we are going to add one more thing. But what are we adding, guys? Any resource that might impact your older resources, something might be dependent. So they say nothing is dependent here, and you're going to add a new. You want to update? Yes. So 4 resources we have created. 3, fourth one is going on. It's been creating or created. Okay, and if you go to VPC here to just confirm, and you can see one subnet they are going to create. Okay, so they are going to create which one? So my subnet lab 1. So my subnet lab 1 they are going to create. Again, yeah, this one come up. And guys, see here, they are the part of my this VPC. So, and if you see one more thing here, this subnet having detail, they have this sub CIDR block. Okay, so, and again, guys, they launch in first ones here. And I told you guys, my data center name is changing, right? So if you use AP South 1, by chance they're using this name, we use AP South 1A, that was older name. Nowadays they give a newer name, and what are the newer name they pick up for you? And this was the first data center they launch in this zone. Okay, so now till here everything working great. Now what's the next plan? So next plan is, guys, we would like to tell that this subnet will have a outside world connectivity. Okay, and for this, guys, obviously you have to first create a routing table. Okay, so next plan would be step number 5. We have to first create a routing table. Okay, and then, guys, after you create the routing table, okay, you have to create some route in it. The next step would be create a route. Route means, you guys know this, I already discussed in my basic classes of networking, that anybody wanted to go here, use some internet gateway. So use some internet gateway, whatever we have provided. So this kind of route we have to do. And then last thing is, after we update my routing table, I'll tell whatever routing table I created, I want to use this routing table to this subnet. Okay, so routing table is independent component. I first create, I update this guy, and they say this routing table I want to update attached to this, where this subnet. So 3 different things you normally manually do. Same 3 things I have to do it with code. Okay, even though if you want to see with graphical also, if you always first create a routing table, yeah, so just we click here, and guys, when you create a routing table, only thing that you require is to provide your VPC, which VPC you want to create. Again, you have to give VPC ID. Okay, so same thing I'm going to do from here. So for creating routing table, I again take the help of my document and see, do you have anything for a routing table? Okay, so there might be possible in EC2 you will find. So this is the guy's routing routing, but here I want to create a routing table. So just go here, just read the document what they're actually doing, and go to example. And this is the YAML file I want to pick. Or let me copy from here and let me paste in my code or my document. Okay. And guys, here again, I want to give my routing table name. You can give any name, my route or route table, right? This is the type we want to use. Again, what they're asking you, if you want to create a routing table, you have to give VPC name or tag. So VPC name, guys, again, I don't know. I want to take the reference from my VPC. Means whatever VPC we had created, I want to take the ID from that guy. Or any name you want to give here, let's say this is a routing table or Linux World routing table for CloudFormation. So some tag if you want to give, you can give here. That's all, guys. Pretty straightforward. This routing table has been, it is just created. Okay, you do some more thing here. So I keep on running, guys, these things here, so we can properly see if any error come up. Okay, it's a good practice, guys. Don't try to write entire code and run. One by one, do upload, run. If everything work, then again go run again work. Okay, so it is very clear and simple way to debug also. If some of the part not work, we know because the last part thing is not working. Okay, so if you see here, we are going to create some routing table. And guys, please notice here, this routing table is come inside VPC. Okay, why? Because we added in this VPC. So they detected this is the part of this VPC. So according in this box, they put this routing table. Okay, so next is always good, guys, to always see this change set preview. It will give you a surety that nothing is older resource going to replace. That's what I want. And now if you see here, new routing table will be created. Okay, this one is created super fast and they attach to this VPC. But if you click in this routing table, you guys know in the routing table we have a route. Okay, and the by default route is like a private route. You guys know this. It means this routing table don't have a capability to go to internet. For this, I'll tell my routing table write this route for this gateway. Okay, so again for this, I'll go to my extra resource, and here we are talking about route. So we click on route. This is what they can help me to change the routing table. I'll go to example quickly. I'll copy this code. Copy this code, and here you can give your route a name, whatever name you want to give. But I know because this route is for internet, so I can give some name, internet, or maybe XYZ. Okay, and this one. And guys, one more new word come up. They say you're going to create a route, and this route will help you to go to internet. And for internet, you need internet gateway. Okay. So it means in your code, and this is one thing is very interesting thing. In your code, by chance, if you forget to create internet gateway, okay, this resource won't run. they will fail. Okay, because you say this resource purely depend on internet gateway. Without internet gateway, you weren't able to go to anywhere. You need a gateway or router. Okay, so if you want to do something like this, that don't create this resource till this resource create. This is called dependencies. And for dependency, guys, there's one keyword in the CloudFormation called depends on. And they say we are here depend upon internet gateway. Okay, means on this wire. Okay, so here, guys, you can give the name of this one. So this is the resource on which we are depend on. Okay, so you can give your resource a name. I'm not pulling any value from it, so there's no requirement for reference. So there is no requirement like this. Okay, we're just telling if this resource name is not available, and you guys know what resource name is doing, they're creating internet gateway. So they say I will fail because without having the internet gateway, I won't able to create. So these are some more resources that you have that you want. For example, without having for example, maybe XYZ, right? Without having EC2, how you can attach EBS? EBS you can create, but you can't attach EBS. Okay, so something like this you can create. Tell the CloudFormation that they are dependent on this. Otherwise, in the routing table, you can get the reference. Give the reference this way, and your routing table name is this one. You can give from here. You can pick the routing table and tell in this routing table. This is the destination I want to go. So my destination is this one, and who can take me? My internet gateway. Which one? That I already created. For this, I want to have the ID of this guy. Who will take the ID? My reference. So my reference will take the ID. You can guys also write in this way also. This is also right. Right? This is a full form or this is a short form. Both are right. Okay. So finally, my routing table will be updated. So very quickly again go and run this. But till here, guys, see your routing table has only some private route. But if I update. This one, I love to see again my designer mode, and by the meantime they show you. Let me go to last page, and here just go up and down, see where it is. Yeah, guys, here very beautiful diagram they have created. So internally in the internal route, they create some route for you, and this route is connected to this internet gateway. So they keep on, guys, enhancing the diagram here. Okay, and finally let me launch. Again, there's no impact on my old resource. They are adding the new one. Okay, and now we can see a lot of resources we have launched. 6 different resources or program we have launched. Something fail here right now. I think this one fail. Okay, why is fail? Yeah, something fail. And guys, good thing is when something fail, they automatically roll back, right? So right now I'm just running my my 6th code and this 6th version, I can say, and this fail. So they know it's fail. They have the older version of version 5. They automatically roll back to my version 5. Okay, it means all the older resources you already have. It means whatever you had already, you already have. So nothing has been removed. That's the good thing, guys, about CloudFormation. But why they fail, I don't know. Let me check my code. I don't know. I've missed something. So type we have right depend ons looks good because the internet gateway name I have given is internet ing capital. Maybe, guys, I might be having a spelling mistakes. Just please help me if you can see any spelling mistake here. Property destination CID I have given. Gateway ID I have given here, and I think everything good. Maybe guys, this syntax might be not working here. It should work, or maybe with extra space or extra new line they work. This might be possibility. I feel. Oh, actually, it's not out because this name. Okay, this name was wrong. Actually, my actual name is not this one. Actual name was internet gateway, right? So we don't have my internet gateway. Okay, so because of this wrong name, it failed. It's good, guys. If something fail, we actually we can at least see the value of rollback. Okay. Now again do the same thing. I given the wrong reference actually. Let's fail the thing. And finally, everything is clean, and we keep on monitoring our events. Events are like a log, and there are not any issues come up. Okay. And what they say again, they fail or they created. Oh, again they fail, right? Rollback complete. Again they're doing rollback. Oh, why they're failing? 1 minute. Again, they haven't updated. I think this might be the only reason, right? I have to give some extra new line. In the new line, we can pass this kind of function, but then this might be the reason. Okay. Otherwise, I don't see any error. If you have guys seen, just please let me know. So click next, and update. So guys, if you change anything in your infrastructure, new thing, it won't impact your older infrastructure. Something failed, they roll back for you. So that's the nice thing you are seeing right now. So at this time, 29, they are updated in progress. 29, they now start progressing. So it means everything now is good. Now it has been updated. So there's no error. One more new resource created. Nice. And if I refresh this page, you see in this routing table, there's one more new route attached to the gateway. That's what guys we always do. Okay. So there's a thing guys has been done. Okay. So this step is done. But understand one thing. Okay. Whatever routing table you create, okay, finally you attach your routing table to your subnet. Like I want my subnet will have a capability to go to the public world. Means I want my subnet to be public subnet. For this routing table, you attach to a subnet routers, or means technically subnet. So technically it's called, I told you this name, the subnet routing table association. So if you see guys here, this tab we have, and this routing table, do you want to attach us to a subnet? I don't have any association here. So you want to associate. Okay, then only your subnet can able to go to the outside world. Okay, so for this again, I want to use some kind of resource type. Okay, and now very clearly here is we have subnet route table association here. I can directly go to example, copy the code. Okay, now I can go a little bit quicker here. You can give your name. You can give my what name you want to give. Okay, and again you can give the reference. Which subnet ID you want to associate? Okay, with subnet I want to associate with subnet A. So this subnet I want they use the routing table. Which routing table? What routing table we have already created? And what the name of the routing table is? My routing table. You know which table? This routing. So that's why the association has been done. It means now this subnet will be known as public subnet. Okay. So one more thing I'm going to add here. Anybody who by chance know a private cloud called OpenStack, okay, So if you guys was with me in my hybrid cloud training, so we also discussed there OpenStack Cloud. Okay, so same kind of service also we have guys in OpenStack, and the name of service called Heat. So Heat is one service in OpenStack, if you know. So that has a capability to do the same thing. Okay, they also guys we write a code in same format, same logic, same we have. So all the services you create there, you can create with Heat template also. Now it has been created in progress. And now do you see if you again refresh, you can see this routing. Now it has been associated with this subnet. So technically, it means your subnet become your your public subnet. It means any instance we launch in this subnet will be will have what I say public internet connectivity. Now it's time to launch our OS. Okay, so now everything is done. Now it's time to launch our EC2 instance. Okay, so let's go and do this. Okay, so for this we know guys multiple times we launched the EC2 instance, we know what EC2 instance require, but it's good just go and use this document of instances. Okay, and maybe example might be a good way to start. Okay, click. Okay, and let me copy the code here. Same thing guys we did in yesterday class also. So I'm going to launch an instance. You can give any instance a name. Let me go for my EC2 instance. Okay, this is the main thing. Now which AMI you want to use, that will be your choice. So let's say I want to use this AMI. Or let's say I want to use this AMI that I used in my yesterday class. The AMI called created by me in my Mumbai region. Okay, so this is the AMI I want to use. Okay, this one. This AMI I want to use. But guys, understand one thing: this template you are creating for not for you, for other team also. There might be possibility. There might be possibility they don't want to use this AMI. By launching, they want to select other AMI. So here the use of variables and parameter come in play. So what can we do in the top? We can create a parameter kind of resource here. Okay, and in that parameter, we can give a variable name. You can give any variable name. Let's say my variable name is AMI or X. And because this is a variable, you have to give the type of this variable. Okay, your data type means is let's say this is string. Okay, this is a string. Okay, and if you want to give the description, that will be your choice. I told you. So in the prompt, they will show you this particular description. Say this is Linux World custom AMI for web server. Okay, so it means this is the variable we have, and this variable take the value. They will prompt you on the screen, and whatever value they will provide, we will post here. Okay, we'll give the reference here, AMI. That's all. And because this is a variable, I can use again reference function here. Okay, so this is a better way to do it. Okay, one thing. So let me guys show you very quickly, even though my code is not completed, but let me show you something here. So again, this one. Let me launch this template, and if you click next, now guys here they are prompting. Okay, now they're prompting. So there's a variable name come up, there's your description come up, what AMI you want to pick, you can pick here. But guys, again, is one more challenge we have here in this example. So every team will go and find their respective AMI, copy the ID here and paste here, then it will work. But what I want, if anybody use this template, they don't have to fill this form. It's like a form. They don't have to fill this form. Okay, I want to give some default value. So if they want to use the same one, they can go and next. But you want to change that value, they can change. So what can we do here in our code? We can set some default value here. So there's one keyword called default. default, and we can fix some default value. So what do you mean by this? Okay, means now let me again cancel. Again, let me update. Okay. Click. Now this value automatically come up, right? So most of the guys always want to use the same AMI ID. They can go and next use it. But if somebody want to have some kind of customization here, they can remove it and change their respective AMI. So there's a use of default value in the form. Okay, so this is what we can do here. Okay, so so this this will guys create a OS for you, and in this OS they will have a image ID. But I can go to our document right quickly, properties, and we can see here what all it is available. So do you want to use the average zone? Which keyword is required? Is it not required? You can go and select which is important, which is not important for us. So let's say I want to add my where is my instance type here. So here they don't you don't have option for instance type here, because I take this example from example. But if you search for instance type that I used yesterday, so they have this value. Okay, and that's why you here is this not required. So if I don't put the instance type, it won't fail, and they will pick by default M1 small. I don't want to use M1 small, so I can go and use this one and put here. So I want to use this instance type. Okay, and this is T2 micro. But again, guys, here you want to give some flexibility. Let's say this is the template used by developer, but my production guys don't want to use the same instant time. They want to use bigger one. So I don't want to fix again here. Okay, so what I do, I can create one more variable here in the top. Okay, and here they give the name called, let's say, instance type, some variable name they give you. Let me give the full name, instance type. Okay, and here I just set some default value. Let's say T2 micro, and this is a Linux World test instance type, and I can give the reference of this guy there. So by default, this value come up. Otherwise, if anybody want to change, they can change. Okay. So this is the reference I'm giving you. Same thing. If you think anybody want to, do SSS to this instance, obviously they need a key. But obviously, guys, every account they have their own key. So I can fix my key name here, right? So what I do again, I create one more variable here that will prompt them and ask what is your key name. Okay, so let's say this is my key name. This again, just variable name, key name, and I give the description. Put your SSS key. I can set it default because obviously, guys, every account has their own key, so I don't know their name, right? Okay, and here I can give the key name. So I'm just trying to make my template as much as dynamic we can. Okay, so let me check quickly till here what difference come up. Update my stack, upload, change this one, open. Next. Now guys, here 3 options they're asking. 2 they give you default, and 3rd one they say you have to put by yourself. And without putting, if you're going to go next, okay, you can go. Because by default, guys, whatever value you have put here, it is optional. But this option, guys, in the variables, we can make this. This is a constraint. It is compulsory to put this form, but by default value is optional. If you don't want to put, that will be your choice. Okay, so it's like this. So same thing, guys, you can add image ID, reference type, key name, and obviously, guys, most important thing is the subnet ID. Okay, so if you again see the document, what is about subnet ID? Okay, it is not required. So if you don't put subnet ID, so by default subnet ID that Amazon provide you, they launch there. But I don't want to use this. I want to put my instances in my personal subnet. So you have to use a subnet ID here. Okay. So one more property I want to use here. It's called subnet ID. Okay. And which is my subnet ID? I don't know, right? Obviously, you have to give the reference. In the top, guys, we have already created a subnet called A. So I'm giving the reference of that guy. What ID of those? Just go and pick from there. Okay. Otherwise, device name, what device you want to create. Okay. So, guys, normally this is a Linux OS. Normally, we create a device or hard disk called A or device name called E. First, the hard disk. So, first hard disk they create. Okay. So, here I'm going to add extra EBS and other your choice, guys. Because for this, you have to first create my EBS volume. So, let me remove this part. I don't need right now. No need of this. Okay, very straightforward. So only thing I have done here is use the AMINE instance type, key name, subnet ID. Okay, that's what you guys have to put security group also. Okay, here, but we will add guys security group in the next part. Means after I launch this. Okay, and you're going to put the tag that will be your choice. So tags you can give again. You can give a tag. Key is, let's say, name, value. This key, I think, come in capital. And name, let's say, this is Linux World OS by CloudFormers. Okay, so this key, but we can add, guys, multiple key. Let's say this OS we have launched for testing environment. So I can say that my environment is testing or development. Okay, or maybe I can add more key here. Let's say the developer of this OS is or author of this OS is Vimal, for example. So I can give my name here. So multiple key value pair you can use, but this key value is very much useful. Some of the example I told you is very important. Okay, so let me launch this OS. Let me update this. You can also edit, guys, directly in the designer also if you want. And use this. And now if you see the designer portal, what you see, guys, it will be same thing the way I show you. It will in your lab they will put one instance here. So you will see here in this lab they will put one. So if you see, guys, if you see subnet A, so in subnet A, here they put one computer in the box. So this is the same kind of diagram, guys, we always keep on seeing till date, right? So one computer they put in this box. Okay. So next, again the asking key. Let's say my plan is to do SSH. You can put the key. Let's see what without putting the key what happened. I'm not putting the key. Okay, and they are not actually impacting any other resources. There's no use for this. Now I'm launching my instance, and if you go to EC2 instance, you will see one new instance is rolling up. Okay, so the instance that is rolling up, it come in a minute. So obviously they take some time because the instance it's failed. Okay, it failed due to some reason. Okay, and most of the guys' reason is I think I was a little bit while explaining in the flow, actually I was a little bit wrong maybe, because whenever you give any parameter, it is compulsory to add we can make the parameter uncompulsory. There's a different point, but it is a compulsory means what I'm talking about. I think this is the challenge. That's what I want to test very quickly. So if I click here, you provide your key name. So guys, again, you can create your key also from this code. You can create your own private key. You can write the code for this, but I already have a key with me. So let's say I want to use this key. So a public private key, you guys know. So I'm using the key that I already have. Otherwise, they also fail. You should have to attach the key that is already exist. Okay. So I think this is the reason it might fail. So again, they fail. So this might be some other reason why it failed. Let me check my code. Okay. And just go check, guys, here if I give something wrong wrong here. Guys, if you can help me fastly in your chat box. So something is wrong here. So we have to give a OS name. Let me check my space here. Spacing is right. Type instance, property, image ID we have given. Instance type is right. We have given the top. Key name we have given in the top. Subnet ID. We have to take the reference for subnet A. It's also look great. Is S and A is capital. S and A is capital. And we put some tags. Okay, so multiple tags we put. Let me remove some of the tag. I think there might be spacing issue, maybe. I don't know. Okay, spacing will actually work, but let's remove. I think this other issue. AMI instance INT capital, key name K and N capital. So guys, if you see any error here, okay, or there might be, most probably the error might be okay, there might be some resource that is compulsory to attach. Okay, this might be reason. I think there might be reason of security group, because I haven't attached the security group here. This might be the possibility. Okay, so I don't know. Actually, we know the concept, but there might possibility. But let's check the document. What document say? Okay, so if you go for security group, security group ID over here, and they say it is a conditional. Security group is not, it's conditional. Conditional normally means here it is compulsory to add it. Okay, you can think in this way. Or condition here means if you want to change the security group in the future, you can change. They have a capability, so it has a both the middle. So actually, I haven't put the security group here, so that was the challenge. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm just adding the security group also. Okay, so I'm adding the security group also, a security group ID. Let me output here. And what is security group IDs? It will give you all the security groups IDs, because you guys know multiple security group you create, and all multiple security group IDs you can write. You can put here. Okay, so so what I'm doing, guys, right now, normally we create our own security groups. We can create also. I'll show you in a minute. But what I'm doing for quick test, we have some security group already with us. Okay. Let me see this security group, for example. The security group say all the traffic allow, and we know the security ID. This is called security group ID. Let me use here. And why I'm using hyphen? Because the security group you see in the document, this has this syntax there, or the security group see list of a string, and anything you want to give a list in the YAML. It is a list, and if you have a list, you have to use hyphen. Okay, but right now, guys, I'm giving a static security group, but we have a capability to create our own, and we can pass the reference. But I'm just quickly giving just to test everything is working or not. Okay. So again, let me update. And launch. So my key name is, maybe guys go and check key name is compulsory or not. According to me, it shouldn't be, but they keep on changing. So they might be, but the way we can make it fixed or compulsory, both the things we can control. We have the option in the parameter. Okay. The updating, and again they feel most probably there might be more properties that are compulsory to use, or maybe I might have some spelling mistake. Most probably spelling mistake is a very common thing we do. Or because the Bible file, so there might possibility we have some spacing issue. Okay, but normally these are case sensitive, maybe K small, N small, capital. So these are small thing, always be the issue. Okay, again they roll back. So guys, have you seen any issue error here is visible? Instance type, instant type reference. So I'm so sorry guys. Yeah, somebody have properly figured out we have a space here. That's why I'm talking about. This is always the challenge, right? So reference space was the issue actually here. Okay, but let's say we have seen some more extra thing while seeing this. Okay, so okay, the key name, let's check the key name compulsory or not, right? It will come up. I will see key name is compulsory or not. Okay, if it's not, we can update a parameter. We have some properties for this. They will tell you if you want to make it compulsory that it is fixed to put. You can post it. Okay, again they fail. Again delete. They might be. This is compulsory. Let me very quickly again update. This way, guys, we learn, right? We keep on checking the code again and again, and it will sometime guide. Okay, so let me use one of my key. This is key name, right? Or let me again launch. Okay, but guys, have you see any error? I think this is the space. This is space. Right, just go and check the name. What a name we have given are right or not. Just go and check. Technically is the concept, but there might be some small error. Guys, again is right. Have you seen any error here in instance type? Somebody saying actually I can see your last line. So where? So properties, image type. So what to do? You know what I'm doing here? We have yesterday created the code for this. Let me pick the code from there, copy paste, right, and then we troubleshoot over here. So this is the code we had created yesterday. Okay, let me pick the same code. This was working great. Okay, so let me pick the same code. Remove this code, add this new code, remove this code, and then we can slowly troubleshoot what is happening. So everything is good. Only image ID, guys, we are giving the reference here. So my reference is AMI. I think this is the name we are given. AMI is my reference. And instance type, my reference is instance type, T2 micro. Okay. And availability zone, we have a reference. Let's go for it like this AP South one, just for a minute. Okay. So let me guys quickly launch this. Update, replace, upload. Now I think this is compulsory, but let me use some name. I don't want now any issue come up. So update in progress. Now it is working great, right? So it's good. So it means now we can compare with these two things. They might be, now you can compare, guys. I don't want to further invest your time. So maybe availability zone, does I use there? Actually, guys, I haven't used availability zone. As we don't require because we need subnet ID. So let me add my subnet ID also here to check one more time. Okay, and I understand one thing. This is the first time we are changing some resources that is already created. Okay, and I'm giving the reference called subnet A. Okay, subnet A, and what is subnet A? Is S or A capital. So we are giving this subnet A name. Okay, so I think this is absolutely right. And now this resource has been created. Update complete. My issue to launch. You can see, guys, new instance is launched. I think this is one they are launching behind the scene. Okay. But let me do one thing. What I'm doing here, one minute. I'll go to my cloud formation again, update, same, and you will see some difference here. The difference is because I changed my entire subnet. Maybe whatever the subnet they used previously was a different subnet, and now this time they say you're doing some changes here, modify here, and we have to replace this guy. Means we have to terminate and launch, or launch a new and terminate this guy. And obviously, guys, because you're asking this instance to be launched in a different subnet, because this time they use a default subnet, okay, and the default VPC, right? But you change subnet, obviously, is an entire new lab. So only way is to delete this. Okay. So now this time they're updating. Okay. So what I'm doing, guys, I'm checking one by one to understand which line causing the error. So this was great, this was great, this was great, this was also great. Okay. So if they launch, yeah, so this is also great. So I don't know, maybe in tags or somewhere else, I might have an issue, or maybe some spelling mistake. I'm not able to see it properly. I don't know what would be. Or let me pick the tag also in my code. Okay. Code tag. And the tag will be name, and this is the OS. Okay. This one. So finally they launched my OS, and if you see here, date in progress is here. After update, they still date progress, means because they have to replace, means they have to first delete, launch the new one. And now if you see, guys, this was their start terminating. Why? Because they launched the new one. Okay, because they launched this here, they launched the new one, and where they launch in our VPC here. This is the exact VPC we had created. Okay, so was great, and I changed my tag here, so I want to update my stack one more time. Okay, update. Nothing special change. I'm just changing my tags here, levels here of my OS. And guys, when you change your level in the OS, okay, and just one thing, you're not changing your main your entire data center. So you change your tag in the OS. Okay, they have to modify, but they don't have to replace. I mean, OS will be same. They don't have to replace this OS on the fly. They will change the name. So last time I don't have a name here in this OS, but now we will see they don't have the name here. But after some time, you'll see they come up with the name. You know, this is the name come up. And this is the exact same OS with all the setting we had done come up here. Okay. This is a one thing. Okay. Now, so what else? I don't know this exact thing I have written there. Why not is working, but I don't know. We just check something, maybe spelling mistakes here. Okay. Okay. Now what next? So right now, guys, this OS has been launched. So in this OS, guys, we have a web server, right? And if you want to connect to a web server, you need a public IP. I don't have a public IP. Okay. So, and guys, if you don't have public IP, it means two things. Means your subnet that you create don't have a public IP enabled. Either enable there, or what can you do? You can go to EIP and launch and attach create the elastic IP and attach the elastic IP. And so for this, what I'm doing here, again, go to my document and check, do you have any way to create a EIP? Okay, so maybe if you see here EIP we have, let me very quickly go to examples. Let me pick this example over here. Okay, and launch this resource, my EIP. Okay, and I'm launching a new EIP here. And guys, if you want to launch the EIP, okay, you have to be tell one thing, which instance you want to attach this EIP. Okay, so what I mean by this, if you see here, okay, you have to allocate this EIP to something, right? So so you have to just give the reference of your instance name. Okay, so what I'm doing here, so I'm giving the reference of my OS, and my OS name is this one. You create the EIP, and EIP you create for the instance. So that's what I'm doing here. So we are creating the new EIP. Okay, and this new EIP, guys, we are going to attach with our OS. Whatever the OS we have, they give you the OS ID, and this OS ID we attach the EIP. Okay. So again, my CloudFormation template, update, replace, upload. And guys, same thing, right now we are keep on updating our CloudFormation template. Same thing you can do from command line also. So AWS command we have, and there we have a CloudFormation command available. So there you can go. Okay, so now this OS will have a EIP attached. Okay, but one thing, it won't work because we don't have a attached proper. Yeah, security group attached already. I think I attached. Or no. So there's no security group for this guy. So even though you have public IP, nobody able to connect. So either you can create your security group. Again, same process you can use, create your security group. Okay, and attach the security group in the instance. How? Over by this keywords. Okay, or and do it. So EIP created. You can see your resource created here of EIP. They also tell you which IP they given to you. Okay, this is created. Everything update completely. And now if you go to instances, if you refresh, you can see IPs come up. Okay, and if you click in this IP, because this is the AMI we already use, we have the web server created. Nothing is running. One last region. The region is of the security group. So you click on the security group. So this is the default security group is been attached, and this security group say nothing is allowed. Okay, so nothing is allowed from outside world, right? So what can you do? You can create a security group, okay, and provide the security group to this guy. So let me show you guys, this is the last practical. So let me complete this by this way also. So we can go here again. If you ask AWS, do you have any way to create a security group? Most probably here. Okay, and here guys, we are going to create a security group. This example we have. Okay, let me pick this example, and you guys know how to create a security group. Okay, so this is a new security group I am going to create. Okay, and guys, in the security group, it is very clear. Okay, you always guys have to create a security group in a VPC. So you have to give the reference of your VPC. Guys, security guys always create inside the VPC. If you guys, when you create, they'll ask you. And my VPC name is called VPC. So if you see in the top, this is the VPC name. So I'm going to create a security group in my VPC. And in the security group, we always create a group rule for ingress. Means anybody come in for TCP for 80 port from, this is the range. So you have to give the range of 80 to 81 port, 80 to 85 port. So I'm giving from 80 to 80 means only 80 port I will allow from any of the IP in the world. Okay, so that's what guys ingress rule I want to create. Egress, I'm not creating anything. Or if you want to allow all the protocol of egress, I can use -1. -1 means all the protocol anywhere they want to go. So from my instance, if my instance want to go anywhere in the world, okay, they can go. So the egress. That is a by default normal rule we always see. Okay, so that's what guys security group has been created. Okay, and one more thing, I just let me quickly tag it so I can see it has been created. Okay, so name, this is Linus World security group for cloud platforms or by platforms. Okay, so let me update again quickly. Upload, choose file, and so right now if we can if you want to take this thing in a practice, practice means just try to create almost all the resources with the CloudFormation. Okay, so it is a actually way in the real world work in the automation world, right? Obviously first you know the concept. After know the concept, try to implement the same concept with with the CloudFormation. So update complete. You can see one resource created. This goes security group. There's a link they provide you. Right click. You just very quickly can go and check. And what you see here now, the security group created. And if you see the rule, anybody from anywhere come on 80 port allow. And this always want to go out anywhere they can go out. So there's a rule created. The only thing is this security group, what ID we have to attach to my instance. Okay, and for this, obviously, guys, when you create a security group by yourself in the future, you will have a different ID. So I don't want to fix the ID here. So what I'll do, I'll go to my my OS and say I want to give a security group ID to you. Okay, and because guys, you can put guys multiple security group in one OS. It's called IDs come up, and you don't know the ID, so you can pass the reference. I can give the reference. Okay, and reference name is your name of your security group. I can give the name. So for this OS, I want to use this particular security group. Okay, I think guys, this is the actually error I had actually. Okay. Here guys, whenever you give the reference in the next line, if you give the reference same line, this index work. But if you give the reference in the next line, because you have list, this index don't work, you have to use this index. I think that was the actually challenge why I'm not working here. Okay. I think that was challenge. Okay, so let me check again, maybe it will work. So and then I think this is the same kind of example they also show you here. So let me update my OS. 1 minute. And now my OS will use this security group, whatever I attached here. So next. Next. And now guys, we are going to update our security group. Okay, so two things we're updating are EIP. Why EIP? Because EIP is because IP address, behind the IP address on network card security group attached, but we don't have to change it. And OS also, and there's a conditional, means there might be possibility I have to restart my instance or change my instance. Okay, but it's not true or false. Let's see. So they are updating here this security group, and finally the motto is they will attach the security group for you. Okay. So update in progress. It is working. And if I go to my portal, this is the instance we was working on. This one. If you run, this instance still running. Let me go here. This is still running. Means they don't have to terminate this instance to attach the security group, because we have the option, right, to change the security group. And if you go in the security, you'll find this is the new security group. We are created this one. I think this is the AWS all security group that is. And the security group say this is the thing we allow. So finally, it is very clear they updated successfully. Because updated successfully, if means if I create my entire infrastructure with proper routing table, attachment, internet gateway, VPC, OS, right, firewalls, and I use proper AMI. If I everything is good and nice, and then if I try to refresh this, I'm not sure. Maybe I might miss, but it is not missed. You can see output come up, right? So my website properly open. It is a public website, so you can also try and check. It is working very much fine. One more last thing I just want to tell you to conclude this thing. Right now, when you launch this OS, you attach the EIP here. Okay, EIP comes with cost, right? But maybe guys, when you launch the OS, your OS will automatically get a dynamic IP, and every time when you stop and start, your IP will change. Okay, so what we are interested on, we are interested on our IP address. So what I want actually, whenever my whenever my OS start, what a public IP associated with that guy, this IP will print in my output. That's what I want. Okay. So for this, what can you do? There is one more concept, guys. Here is called output. So like in a normal programming language, parameter is like input function or variable. Okay, and output is like a print function. So whatever you want to print finally in your CloudFormation, you can use output. Okay, and for printing, you can give any variable name. Let's say I want to print my public IP. So this is just a variable name. Variable means as an instruction or as a description, you can think. Okay, and here what I'm asking that I want to get a value of somebody. Okay, and what a value I want to get? I want to get a value of my Linux or of whatever OS I have. Okay, I want to retrieve the public IP of that guy. Okay, so so technically, what can you do here in the value? You can write that I have the OS over here. This is my OS name. Okay, I want to go to this OS. Okay, and in this OS they have a public IP. Public IP. I want to retrieve the public IP of this OS. So technically, I want to go to this OS. Okay, this time, guys, in this OS, in this OS, okay, in this OS, this is the public IP. Next time, say change, or next time your data center change if you don't mention the data center. So what I want to, if you want to retrieve any information, maybe public IP or maybe private IP, you want to retrieve some information. So output is a function you can use. Okay, and to print, you can use output function and you can print. But these are attributes. So technically, if you go to the document of EC2 again, EC2, just EC2 instances. Here they tell you about return values. And in the return value, they say if anybody want to use this resource, okay, these functions we can use. And one of the functions is called this one. And this function has a capability, let me write here, capability to retrieve either everybody's own name, private DNS name, private IP address, public IP address. So here I am interested in public IP. That's what I have written here. Public IP. Okay. So technically it's something like this. So I'm asking my output to go and retrieve the attribute. Okay, an attribute of this OS And what to retrieve? The public IP. Okay, so that's what, guys, I wanted to do here. So I want to retrieve the public IP, and and just one thing, guys, this is not the name. This is the predefined name we have. So I just pick this name from here. Okay, so they will finally print this attribute for you, because some of the things, guys, change, right? So every zone might change, some other name might be default come up, so we can use this one. Okay, so let me, guys, go and check. So get attribute is again one of the function we have. Okay, so let me run my update. And before, guys, I update, I want to show you here. So, guys, when you run any stack, there's a keyword called output here, and we don't have any output here because we haven't printed anything here. Okay, but if you have, when I update this, okay, so whatever the thing I want to get from this guy, they say my first OS by CF doesn't support because why is not supporting? Because this is just a name I've used. It should support, right? So let me remove this. Okay, because this is not actually attribute, obviously, so it won't support. So a resource name and attribute. Resource name I already given, so why they are not getting the resource name? Okay, resource name they say is not supporting. So 1 minute. Very quickly, let me check FNN get attribute. FN get attribute public IP cloud formation. Probably take the syntax actually here. 1 minute. So public IP server IP. That's what I given. This is not working. JSON YML. This exactly given. So get attribute server or public. 1 minute. Yeah. So this is what I have given my resource name and attribute name. So resource name, guys, we had given. Let me give one more time. They were saying it's not supporting. Okay, so my attribute name was in my document is public IP. This is my attribute name and my name of the resource. Actually, guys, we are getting the IP from my EIP, right? EIP is the one who gives the IP to you right now, because my static IP is not there, right? So I think the resource name would be EIP, because I have given the EIP here, right? Who give the IP to us. Okay, I think this was the challenge, but let me check very quickly again. Yeah, that was just actually a challenge. Let me refresh this page. Oh, yeah. So it's a long class, I know, and I have other class also. Yeah, now that's way work, guys. So EIP doesn't support attribute. Guys, you just go and test this. It's not so much critical here. So just go and check this example of the syntax. I think this is the this what, guys, I have given EIP DNS name. That's what I have given here. But just quickly go and check this thing if you want to check the output. Just you have to give your resource name. I given this name here. Okay, and public IP. Maybe you just try and double quotes. Some extra space might be issue come up. Okay, just try this. Or maybe I've given some spelling mistake here. So so nothing very special. But yeah, when you print this, it will give you in the output field. So finally, what you understood, whatever you want to do, you can do everything from here. And one very last thing is a big infrastructure we have created. So the good thing about this infrastructure is, if you want to clean the entire setup, okay, just I click once here and delete. Entire stack will be deleted. It means you don't have to manually delete your VPC, internet gateway, routing table, attachment, issued instances, security group, everything delete. And the good thing is, if you guys manually delete, you always see you're stuck somewhere, right? Because if EIP is EC2 depend on EIP, and if you try to directly delete the EIP, it will fail. EIP say I can't delete directly because I depend on EC2. Okay. So, but here, guys, the good thing is they know the sequence. Okay, so when you ask them to delete, they will delete in the right sequence, so it will delete. Or even though same thing, if you create a resources and if you put security group at the top or EIP in the top and in the last, so they know the sequence. They automatically behind the scene launch everything in the sequence. What should be the right sequence? Okay, so big template one by one. We type everything, we create everything over here from the scratch. I'll share, guys, this template to you. You enhance it the way you want and do the things. Okay, so that's all, guys, for today. Any question you have, guys, you can ask me. Okay, and so that's all, guys, for today, and see you in my next class. So in my next class, actually, you can ask me because I have another class in a 10 minute. So we'll, guys, discuss further. Right, bye. Take care, guys. You guys, this is about CloudFormation, guys. Take care. Bye.